So it has happened. Punjab Kings have won by 7 runs via the Duckworth-Lewis-Stone method. Kolkata Knight Riders, unfortunately, they lost a wicket at a very crucial time, just before the rain arrived of Andre Russell. That was the wicket, I guess.
Yes.
So Punjab have made a good start in IPL 2023. Kolkata Knight Riders will have to lose some missed opportunities. But I will focus on just 2 things and I'll each take all of your time on that. 1, that floodlight failure. Looking back, hindsight, that was very, very crucial because the rain came at a time when the match should have ended in regulation time. But it didn't. Second, Kolkata's batting lost the most wickets ever in the power play in 2022. The same trend continues. They don't have a stable batting order and they paid very heavily for it today. Shane, as a Kolkata Knight Riders fan, it's the same old story repeating over and over and over again.
And I don't understand why. Because again, you have Venkatesh Iyer, who's a designated opener. You have Ramanula Gurbaz, who's a designated opener. So what do? You bring in Mandeep Singh, who's not been in form for donkey's years, make him open, and then you use Venkatesh as your impact player, bring him in at number 4, where I don't think he's ever really batted, although he's batted everywhere for KKR at this point, so it's okay. But again, I don't understand. It was such a simple play. When we were naming our predicted 11s, and every single time people asked me or asked you guys, eyes closed, you'd say, Gurbaz, Venkatesh, that has to be your opening 11. Why Mandeep? I understand your, you are a little bit short, obviously, in the middle order because no one expected Shreyas Iyer to be out for the majority of the IPL. But then, if the options were between Mandeep, who's flattered to deceive in the IPL for years, versus a Jagadisan who, whilst he may not have gotten much of a chance in the IPL, is coming off a year where he's done reasonably well in domestic cricket, I would go with Jagadisan eyes closed, even if you don't make him keep. No problem. You can play 2 wicket keepers in the playing 11.
Yeah.
Have one as a specialist batter.
The Indian team used to have 3 at a time.
Exactly. In the same game, no?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't get this. And that you're paying the price. It's the same error last year. You tried like 7, 8, 9 different opening orders. You have one opening order which is staring at you in the face. You saw the kind of impact that Gurbaz could have. You know what Venkatesh can do. Even today, he was playing a few good shots. He had to not accelerate due to the fact that he was losing one too many partners. Every time it looked like, oh, now he's going to accelerate, boom, someone falls with the run. And then in the case of Russell, well, Russell was taking the strike and actually muscling, through the runs. But again, you're expecting him to do miracles when, why is he not starting? Again, simple things, and I don't understand why do you have to overcomplicate these things. Stick with the basics. You know then that you have an impact player who you can bring in. Okay, you say you want to deepen your batting order, throw Mandeep in there. You want to deepen your bowling order, you have plenty of bowling options. So either which way, we'll come to that in a bit. Shivam screenshot it. But yeah, it's the same old problems and you need to sort it out. Simple as.
Gargi, what about you? Because you backed Kolkata Knight Riders in this, or did you back Punjab Kings?
She actually wasn't there in the preview.
But your gut instinct, what did it tell you?
Punjab, of course.
Okay, why Punjab?
Because when you see, like Shane talked about, you've got to have an anchor at the opening, right? And because in T20 games, the way cricket has revolutionized now, you need to have a solid start, so your hitters can come in, your middle order can come in and actually bat without having too much stress and too much pressure. And if you get a good start, like look at Punjab Kings, look at the way Shikhar Dhawan and the others gave the top order gave the start.
Simran, remember?
Yeah. What that does, it puts a lot of pressure on the opposition because you're hitting from the go. So it really, helps. That momentum is very important.
So, okay, so a good start. So
you didn't get that.
As Gargi pointed out, Punjab Kings started very well.
Very well.
But Kolkata Knight Riders did not.
Actually, they started well because Gurbaz, remember, early on itself came on bang. But then Mandeep goes for a similar shot, out. Then suddenly again the pressure is on the middle order.
Okay.
Big match, you want your openers to get you a quick fire 40-50 at the very least.
Yes.
And it's got so much to do with, how we mentally think as players. Because if you're thinking, if your openers go out there and hit good scores, you're relaxed.
Exactly.
On the other hand, look at Venkatesh Iyer. I believe he was probably extremely
down.
stressed today.
Yes.
Like, he couldn't do his best because he was too worried about losing his wicket. That's
Correct.
what it does.
So Gargi and Shane focused on the starts, the batting, the contrasting batting, because KKR lost 2 wickets in Arshdeep's first over.
Yeah.
But Harshit, if I have to ask you, looking at what happened in the KKR innings, right from the very beginning, you lost 30 minutes due to a floodlight failure. Number one. I'll come to the KKR fan later on that. But 30 minutes lost when they were just 7 runs. The margin is 7 runs. Do you think it is fair that rain robbed them? One factor. 2, can they blame the floodlight failure? Or 3, do they have their batting to blame?
They have themselves to blame, I think. You can't talk about, yes, of course, it becomes like a subset of this whole issue that KKR are faced with right now, but it's not the predominant issue if you ask me. I think they got it wrong as far as their selection is concerned. Why have an Anukul Roy when you didn't even give him the ball? Right? Then this whole impact player, again, it was too evident that Venkatesh Iyer will be your impact player then. You sort of disturbed your opening slot also with when you didn't start with Venkatesh Iyer. So that was inviting trouble. You made it too predictable as to who your impact player would be, and then you didn't use Anukul Roy for anything in the whole match. So I think that is where the problem was for KKR in this match. External factors, yes, that's not to say that they didn't influence the ultimate outcome of the match. But to be fair, because Russell had already walked off, he was dismissed, that's what I mean. So the game was anyway going away from KKR. It would only have taken a miracle, let's say, from somebody like a Narayan to sort of rescue them from this situation. But otherwise, I think the match was done and dusted, and KKR have themselves to blame.
True.
I want Narayan as an opener.
Narayan as an opener.
I think that experiment in the IPL, the ship is sailed. But you can use him as a floater.
Power play.
Power play or use him to spinners. Dono.
Okay, if Shivam's point has to be taken, okay, Narayan as an opener.
With Venkatesh Iyer.
With Venkatesh Iyer. But you have 2 left-handers.
No, and not just that. Then what's the point of Gurbaz?
True, exactly.
Either. Okay.
But you know, when you talk about the opening slot, I think it is very straightforward, and that's what we predicted as well in our 11. You have somebody like a Venkatesh Iyer who can be that anchor, and Gurbaz who can be erratic maybe, but give you those explosive hits like he did today.
Exactly.
You of course expect those hits to be multiple hits. And not just the solitary hit, let's say, that we saw today. But he looked good. He looked good, and that's courtesy all the T20 cricket that he's played around the globe. So I think they have it sorted, just that they got a little experimental today.
Experimental and Kolkata Knight Riders. I think it's a match not made in heaven.
It's a match made in hell.
Because what has been Kolkata Knight Riders' major problem? Okay, the major problem number 1 is their ineffective starts in the power play. And this is where I bring in Gargi's point of a good start. Punjab got it in Shikhar Dhawan and Prabh, but maybe Prabh does not do well. Then that good start might also be compromised later games. If you look at this,
See the advantage, they have someone like a Dhawan who's going to stick around to the other side, come what may.
Come what may. Now, what has been, when was the last time, I'll ask all of you guys, when was the last time that you saw Kolkata Knight Riders an opening partnership of over 50, 75, 100 or even a 40?
2021, when Venkatesh and Gill were batting together.
There you go.
Which further proves my point.
Only the second half of that season.
Yeah, but that was at least in a sorted batting lineup. A sorted opening lineup. You knew there was very clearly defined
You guys
roles.
still didn't make the playoffs, did you?
2021, we lost the final year.
21, yes.
Of course, we made the playoffs.
Yeah,
we lost it to Chennai only.
Chennai, yes.
So, 2021. The key word is 2021. Full 2022. First game of 2023. Opening combinations. What has been your best? I don't think any opening combination has gone past 60 or 70. Maybe Finch in one game against Kolkata Knight, against Rajasthan Royals. Maybe.
But even there, remember, he was batting alongside Rahane, who got out early.
Oh, I think Sunil Nayak got for a diamond duck, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember that match was Shreyas and him batting really well. Then Yuzi came on, got a hat-trick, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah,
Last year.
and just totally changed the game.
That celebration of his, if you remember.
Yeah,
That's after he got the hat trick. Yeah.
So, would you like to say in unison that Kolkata lost it rather than Punjab winning it? Or are we being too unfair to Punjab?
No.
We're being unfair to Punjab because
Yeah.
again, see, Arshdeep first over, very good. Sam Curran, when they brought him on in the 15th over, I was like, okay, they're doing it just to get a wicket. Russell smoked him for a 6 and a 4, but then got out. So basically, the ploy of bringing Curran on absolutely worked. So I don't think it would be fair to the Punjab Kings. They did well in their own right, but I still think if Kolkata had to get a decent start, the match was theirs because throughout, even when they were losing wickets, there never seemed a point where you're thinking you're going behind the run rate. Even when they were behind the run rate, you were confident that they could catch up. Why? It was a good batting deck.
Exactly. You got a Russell, you got a Narayan, so you get that confidence. Okay, I can maybe afford to lose a wicket to take my chance.
First ball, he comes,
yeah, what
boom.
timing,
What,
yeah, he
what was
managed.
that?
That was a good shot. But Gargi, if you have to say, what was the turning point that you felt that, okay, maybe Punjab have this? What was the turning point?
I think when Russell got out,
Yeah.
I believe because
That's it.
KKR's last hope is Russell at this point.
Yeah.
When we were watching the game, we were discussing when we were watching that if Russell gets out, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to look at Russell and his miracle, I mean, once I think KKR needed 52 in 3 overs, and I think they got it with 5 balls to spare, if I'm not mistaken, against RCB. But Sam Curran, man, he does have an impact. I remember one game when CSK had posted over 230. 2021 only I'm talking about, in Mumbai. Russell was going bang bang. And remember, Curran bowled him around his legs. Remember,
I remember
leg
that.
stump, Wankhede. Cummins hit, I think, 5 sixes of Curran. And that's how Kolkata lost by 18 runs, if I'm not mistaken. But so, as Gargi pointed out, yeah, when Russell fell, that brings me to my next point. Even now, 2023, even if you look at the whole tournament, are Kolkata Knight Riders still entirely dependent on Andre Russell?
They will be less dependent on him if they sort out the top order. And I still maintain there's a very good middle order there with a Rinku Singh, with a Nitish Rana, with even, I don't know, Anukul was not supposed to be in the middle order. But I maintain that if you bring in a Jagadisan and play him at 3, that's still a solid middle order. But the opening is a problem because if you, in theory, what is the point of having a Russell? Someone who can give you an impetus towards the latter stages of the innings, right? So if you have a good opening partnership, if you're of your 3, let's say, middle order core, if even 2 get quick fire 30-40s, then the job for a Russell is to come on and just finish. That's where he's best. You know what KKR's problem is right now? It always falls down to Russell all of the time. He has to be the miracle man. And I know he can do miracles, but if your only strategy of winning matches is hope for the best when Reras is there, then boss, you're not winning tournaments, you're not winning 20 matches either.
Also, again, too early to say this maybe, but just a thought that came to my mind. When we see Nitish Rana lead KKR today, were we in any way reminded of what we saw in Jadeja last year? When that captaincy was given to him and how erratic he got, he lost it as a player as well. Did you see glimpses of that today? And that's coming. I'll tell you why this thought came to my mind. That's because I read something in the comments that Nitish Rana had little clue of what was happening today. Do you
With
fear
the
for
bat,
KKR? Do you fear for KKR? This and for Nitish Rana, this could also be one of those things, and which, if it happens, let's say, if he loses his touch with the bat, and then as a captain he sort of loses it the way that Jadeja lost it last year,
I'll be interested to see what Gargi has to say on this. Because see, he had the Jadeja and Nitish Rana thing. But remember, Jadeja got it not because of any injury or anything. You thought there was a succession plan. Which didn't go according to plan.
Yes.
Number 1.
and you still had somebody like a Dhoni around you, by the way,
Yeah.
to guide you. Here,
exactly. That's the biggest,
there is
like-
nobody to help
Here
Nitish
your
Rana
guide
out.
is Chandrakant Pandit, who's sitting in the dugout.
Yeah.
Right.
So, does it present a leadership crisis then?
Yeah.
In that way?
Of
it
course
does.
Yeah.
And remember, if not Shreyas Iyer, he's not there in this IPL. 2024. Remember, some players, we don't know about the status of Russell, we don't know about Narayan. After 2024, what's going to happen? Are they going to play anymore? We don't know.
Yeah.
Do Kolkata Knight Riders have a succession plan? Because with Gautam Gambhir, what happened?
You didn't have a succession plan.
You didn't have, and you struggled for a good 6 years.
But you don't need a succession plan if your captain is a 28-year-old.
Yeah.
You actually, with Shreyas, you have a perfectly capable captain. He just got injured at the worst possible time.
But
So,
it also like culminates to, he's played a lot of cricket.
yes, and you don't have a vice captain.
Right.
And actually, right now, I'm just saying this. I like Nitish as a player. I don't rate him. I don't know what he will be like as a captain, truth be told. But if you're going to be playing Saudi, an international level captain, and not have him captain, seems a bit of a waste. Because again, I don't know what this thing is. And truth be told, I'll give you a way in which you can have Saudi be a captain, Lockie Ferguson play, and also have
Gurbaz.
You'll have to remove Gurbaz. But then you bring in Jagdishan. Jagdishan is naturally an opener.
Yeah, but Jagdishan for Gurbaz again.
No, Jagdishan and Venkatesh then at least you still have a set.
That's what I'm saying. So Gurbaz goes out, Jagdishan comes in, right?
Yes.
But then don't you then think you'll have two very similar looking players up
No,
top?
Jagdishan, no, when he gets going, it's
But then
not
it
the
takes
type
his time
of,
to get going. That's what I'm saying.
No, but he's done. Again, my point is, it's a crisis.
Yeah.
Push comes to shove, you have to, it's not a case of picking your best 11 and picking a captain. You need a captain.
Right.
Maybe they'll go this way, and I know it's too early because we're being harsh on Nitish. One game, few things could have gone differently. You might have been having a whole different conversation.
So, final comment from Gargi before I take some of our family members
Sure.
thing. Now, will Kolkata Knight Riders be rattled by this, or do you think it's the same case? Okay, maybe they can do a course correction towards the fag end of the tournament, and Punjab Kings doing the usual Punjab Kings bit. What do you think?
I think the only thing that will rattle the KKR players is Chandrakant Pandit
Because
because
he's not going to be too happy. Yeah.
and he's a no-nonsense man. He knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. But if there's something in the way, he's not afraid to, he's a very passionate man. So I think with like Shane pointed out, I think Nitish Rana, when you give someone the captaincy, there's always someone with you. You hand over the captaincy. It's like a passage, but that's not happening here.
Yeah, it's not happening. And okay, let's play fair. It's the guy's first game as IPL captain.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely. Although too soon, like when we started, when I saw the list, brought this thing up again, said
too
that it's
soon.
just the first game, so that's not to jump the gun in any way. But yeah, no.
In fact, as Roy SP points out, since we can take a couple of comments now,
Yeah.
he says that look, KKR got defeated by Delhi Daredevils, then Delhi Daredevils in 2012 in their first match, train hit match, and we were champs. Shane, be positive, winning on 6th at Eden. See, I am not really too negative yet because I still think, and I'm saying this now, is that you make one or two small tweaks. Even if you want to stay with Nitish as captain, fine. Sort your opening order and half your problems are done with there and then.
Yep.
Sort your opening. Because last year you saw the same problem afflict them. This year, in fact, you are now seeing the same thing in the first match. Look, if you had started with Venkatesh and Gurbaz and you still ended up on the losing side, I would have been okay. Because
Yeah.
I'm at least saying, okay, there's a clear process here. But here is muddled processes that have led you to the loss. So, unmuddle it. Simple as.
But do you see his changes? Any changes in the next match, or is it a little?
No changes. I think the only
we'll give it time.
I think the only change you have to make is the batting order. Play your openers.
But do you see it happen immediately?
Yes,
Huh?
it has to.
Was the nature of the defeat such that you will be like, okay,
No,
no,
because-
I need to make a change?
See,
very quick.
maybe you'll give Mandeep a game or two. But can you take the risk?
I think he'll get another game. Again, just one game. He got out on a short ball, if I'm not wrong.
No, it was a short ball. Yeah, it was a short
Anuko.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you should make that change. Or maybe if you really want to make the change, because Jagadish and Mandeep, neither of them are actually suited to be a 3. Push Mandeep down at 3. Tell him to be a sheet anchor. Don't worry about getting bang bang or going bang bang. And then say play your openers. You have to play your openers, your best opening pair. Then at least if you lose, I'll say fine. You're sticking to a process which does appear to have some potential.
Yeah.
Mandeep, I don't see it. It's a brick wall.
Yeah. Akash Bharat was asking, sir, will Shakib be included because of middle order?
No, because you'd have one too many left-handers, sir. Also, Shakib is a literal like-for-like replacement for Sunil Narayan A. Or in games where you feel you don't need a pacer, say in Chepauk, you can replace your foreign bowler, bring in Shakib, he'll add a bit of depth to your batting and give you 4 good overs as well. That's a Shakib.
And remember, your middle order is not a problem. Your top order is a
Right.
problem.
Exactly, your middle order is not a problem.
Yep. So that's about it for this game. And as far as the Lucknow versus Delhi game is concerned,
Kyle Mayers has suddenly picked
Wow.
up the pace.
superb stuff from Kyle Mayers, and we'll be back for the mid innings for that. So tap the bell icons, when we go live on that. It's an action-packed day. More sports action is coming up. Shane did one on Manchester City.
So
and-
they absolutely hammered Liverpool.
Yep, and I'll be back with a badminton update soon. So thank you guys. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Nandri.